Hi, I'm Jason from Traffic Hardware and Design, and today we're going to talk about the Can-Brac Universal. In this step, we're going to remove the Can-Brac signal hub assembly from the Can-Brac Universal. Using a 3/4 inch wrench, I'm going to loosen the retaining nuts. Remove them, set them aside for later, and the washers. Rotate the hub slightly, remove it. There's the Can-Brac signal hub assembly. In this step, you see we've already removed the signal hub assembly from the Can-Brac Universal. We will now release the tension on the wire nuts, pulling the wire out of the clamp so we can install on the mast arm. When we go to install on the mast arm, we have to be sure to make sure the half round nut is in the upmost position. To make it easier for installation, place the bracket on top of the mast arm, wrapping the wire around, inserting into the bracket, pulling as tight as you can. By hand, tension up the nut, and that'll be enough to hold it in place so you can repeat on the other side. Rotate the bracket into position. At this point, you'll use a level to set your level, and using a 9/16 inch wrench, I'm going to tighten the two bottom nuts. Still have a little bit of play, but that's okay because we need to tighten it up and make any adjustments. One last check with the level. Apply the tension to the cable through the top nut. And you'll see we only have about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of thread showing. That is more than enough to hold the cable. In this step, we're going to attach the Can-Brac signal hub assembly to the tube and to the signal assembly. We're going to do it in a couple of steps, so follow along. First, we're going to attach the lower arm to the gusseted tube. Best way to do this is to place the lower arm onto a flat surface and spin the pipe into the threaded area. Line up the back of the tube, and we know it's the back of the tube because there's a gap all the way along the back of the tube for the wire to be run. Tighten the two nuts by hand, and then finish them off with the 1/2 inch wrench. Next, we're going to attach our signal array. In this case, we're only using one signal body for illustration purposes. Slide it over the nipple, put the nut in place, tighten, and you're done. Next, we're going to take our top arm, slide it over the top of the pipe and down onto the signal assembly. The serrations on the top arm will match up with the serrations on the signal assembly. Replace the washer, aluminum washer, and the nut in place. Tighten by hand. You'll probably have to make some adjustments when you're up on the bucket. Tighten up the back arm with the lock screws using a 1/2 inch wrench. Now, take your assembly, place your bracket over top of where you've already measured and cut your hole in the tube, in the cover. The easiest way to do this is actually spin it around so it's underneath. Place the clamp onto the studs, replace the washer, lock washer, and nut, and do on all 4 sides. Next, once all 4 nuts are on, rotate into place, position over the hole that you've already cut, and then tighten with a wrench equally across all 4 nuts. And you're done. The last step as part of the signal hub assembly is to make sure the cap is on the gusseted tube. This helps protect the signal from the elements. Make sure it's very close to the plastic insert, which covers the entire length of the gusseted tube, except where it's been cut at the signal hub assembly. You'll notice the plastic insert helps to seal the tube. If any water does get in, it will drain down to the bottom arm where the holes allow the water to escape and not affect the signal. In this step, we'll attach our assembled signal array with the Can-Brac signal hub assembly to the Can-Brac universal. We're using an auxiliary cable in place of standard wire in this step. Insert the wire through the hole, attach the Can-Brac signal hub assembly to the Can-Brac universal, take your washers, flat washer, lock washer, and nut, place onto the captive bolt, and tighten by hand. That's enough to hold it in place. Repeat on the other side, and then tighten by wrench.